So now we will be proceeding in our backend development course. Okay, till now what we have covered is all about Git and GitHub setup, the deployment of our backend to production, connection of our application to MongoDB, then creating some models, designing utilities, creating the register endpoint, adding the validations, also the email verification part. Now, what after email verification? This is the 11th module, and we will be adding the login service. So right here, if I'm not yet checked out the course, I'll be providing this link down in the description box. You can check that out. Fine. Let's go to our Visual Studio Code. Now here you can see that I'm already ready with my files and folders. Okay, so just let us start the server without wasting any point of time. So npm run dev. Okay, npm run dev. Now, if you wonder that how my terminal looks like this and what are my font settings, if you want me to make a tutorial on this, I can make this. So I'll make a guide how to just make this your terminal look like this. Fine. So here is the controller. Here is the server.js. Okay. The entry point. Fine. This is the auth service. Okay, now before going ahead and creating the service, what I will do is I will create another schema inside auth schema. Fine. What is the schema? So the schema will be, let us just write it quickly, export const login user schema. Okay. Uh, Not login user schema, just I will say it a login schema, which equals to z dot object. Until now, you know that we are using some to validate our request body. Now here, inside most of the production applications, you will find in the front end, they ask you like whether to enter email or username, phone or email, username or phone. So how do they handle that behind the scenes? We'll see a short demo of that. So the common name that they use is the identifier field. Okay. So what is this identifier? We'll be not applying any validations for now. So I'll just simply write it's a string which is non-empty. And what is the error that should be raised if the identifier is empty? I'll just write identifier is equal. Okay. And simple for same for password as well, shift or down arrow. And I will write a password. Okay, and I will just write a password is required if the thing is empty. Now, the thing is, how do we validate the identifier? So in our case, what we are storing in our models, we are storing the username and email. So I want a user to either enter username or enter email. Okay, if he or she enters anything else, what we'll be doing is we'll be raising error. Right. So inside auth schema, what I will do is I will just write here dot refine. Okay. Till now you have understood why we are using dot refine to apply some custom validations as well. Okay. So dot refine, I will write the data. I'll pull out the data from here. And what does data contain? Data will contain the identifier and the password. I'm having curly braces here. Now I will write here one syntax that is const username rejects the regular expression that I had here. Okay, in the register schema, copy this and paste it here. Now I will write the email rejects which equals to this one. Okay, I will provide you the whole code on GitHub, so don't worry for that. So I will just return data.identify.match username rejects. It should match either of them. So I'll just write here that data.identify.match username rejects or data.identifier.match email rejects. So if it matches either of them, so there is no issue, or else just go ahead and raise an error that identifier is invalid. Okay, save this. Now, what should be the path for this? The path should be identifier field. Okay, the path would be identifier field. Fine. So this is the login schema and the validator is simple. What we need to validate? We just need to validate the request body, nothing else, z dot object. Okay, so just validate the body, which is going to have the login schema. Fine, save this. Now, after saving this, let me close this too. And it's very simple now. Okay, so I'll just create some empty functions, which I'll fill up later. Wait a second. Okay, so not login service, I'll name it as login user, which equals to an async function that returns nothing. Okay, that returns nothing, but takes two parameters, that is one is identifier, another one is password. Okay. I'll be showing you the logic for login user service. Now before going to controller, make sure that you export from the login from the auth service file. Then inside controller, the thing is simple that we have to do this thing, login user. Okay, so login user, and I will just write here go for login user, and instead of email I will go for identifier. Okay, and instead of code I'll go for password. Okay, password and logged in successfully. And for now what I will do is I'll just simply write here inside login user service, just write here return access token. I'll be telling you how to generate and what are this access token and refresh token. Refresh underscore token. Okay, save this. Now I will just destructure the access token and refresh token. Okay, save this, and in the response body, I'll just send the access token. Okay, I'll just send the access token, save this. Okay, rest of the functionality I'll be telling you. Now inside this router file, I will just create yet another route which is for login. Okay, and I will use the login validator. Also from controller, we need to export the function which is the login user function from the controller. Save this. Okay, save this, and yeah, I will just call the login user. Save this. Fine. So yeah, Mm. I think I should wait a second. Let me just disable one thing. That is, let's put that. I don't need to disable that. Okay, so fine. So these are the routes that we have. Then we have this controller. Now, what is the logic that we'll be writing here? So let me first go to my schema, auth schema. Let me grab out these two regex regular expressions. Okay, and paste it there. Okay, these are two regular expressions. Now, what I will do is I will write a let user, and if identifier dot match. Okay, match username regex. Okay, if it matches the username regex, then simply assign user to await user model dot find one. It's very simple. Find one, then match the username with the identifier. Okay, it's very simple now. Then in the else part, we'll be doing this. Now, why I'm not using else if, because I already know that either the identifier will be email or username, because in the auth schema, we already wrote that if it's neither of them, it will just raise the error that identifier is invalid. So I can just safely write it else. Fine. Now, after doing this, what I will do is I will check if the user exists or not. Okay. So I'll just write it if not of user. If not of user, now let me create one array here. Let errors is equal to an empty array, and if not of user, errors dot push. I'll just write here field is, what is the field is body dot identifier. Message, what is the message will be um user not found. Okay, user not found, and then I'll just throw new API error. Let me see in my validate middleware what thing okay, returning 400. Okay, so I'll write here 400, and rather I'll write 404 because it's a case of not found, and validation failed, and I will pass in the errors. Okay, if that's not the case, so const result is equal to await user dot verify password. Okay, user dot verify password, and I need the candidate password. Okay, now if you wonder from where this verify password method came from, if you are watching the video sequentially, you must have remembered that inside user model we had defined some custom methods inside user schema. Okay, so user schema dot method, it was an object. So inside object we had three methods. One is verify password, one is generate access token, one is generate refresh token. Okay, so I'll be discussing about those two tokens shortly. Now, if not of result, that means you're trying to enter a invalid password. So copy the syntax, paste it here, and instead of body.identifier, I'll later body.password. Okay. The message is password, or I can say invalid password. Okay. Here inside auth schema, let me do one thing. Let me just write an invalid identifier. Invalid identifier. Say this. Fine. So here inside the auth service, yeah. So if result is successful, what you should do is, so simply what I will do, I'll just directly write here user dot generate access token. Okay. Now this generate access token, actually it's not a promise. Okay, it's not a promise because we are not doing async await here. So it's not a promise. It's just returning a simple JWT string. And for refresh token, I'll just similarly call the refresh token, generate refresh refresh token. Now, what are these two tokens? Let me tell you. Uh, I'll just write here a short documentation so that it's clear to you. So, access tokens. Okay, a short description just. So, session management. Okay, and authorization of API. Simple thing. Okay, no fancy definition. So access tokens are simply used to manage sessions in the client. Then it is also used for authorizations of API. Okay. Now we'll be seeing how it is used to authorize the APIs in the further modules. Fine. So access tokens and refresh tokens, just rotate, rotate access token and a refresh token. Okay, access token, comma, I will just write here, comma, refresh token, because refreshing Like rotating the refresh token is optional. You can rotate it or you cannot you can rotate it or not. It's about on your choice. Okay, and rotate sections. We don't need rotations because whenever we'll rotate the access token, it will automatically send to the client. Okay, we'll be creating the rotate endpoint. I'll be telling you how to rotate the access and refresh tokens. Okay, so generate refresh token. Fine, we are returning these two. Now what we should do with these two? First of all, I'm returning the refresh token and access token also. Now I'm sending access token directly to the client. Okay, so there is no issue. But what to do with the refresh token? What to do with the refresh token? Always remember that do not store these tokens inside a local storage API, inside browser local storage or anywhere else where it can be leaked easily. So the best way to use the access token is to create a state and store it there. So upon every load or every request to the rotate endpoint, you can just rotate the access token and set it in the state in the client. For refresh token, I'll be suggesting you do not send the refresh token to client. Rather, set the refresh token as a cookie on the server. Okay, it will be an HTTP only. I'll be explaining what is an HTTP only cookie. Before that, let us install another package inside our backend. Okay, so what is the package that I will install? I will install something called cookie parser. Okay, now what is this cookie parser? Cookie parser is actually a middleware that will help us to manage cookies from server side. Okay, so simple syntax is I'll write an app.use cookie parser. Okay, and say this. So inside auth controller, simply do one thing that you have to write a rest.cookie, rest.cookie, set the name refresh underscore token. Okay, refresh underscore token, and then what is the value? The value is refresh token that I'm getting. Then there are some options that I'll provide. First, you can see that here we have a max edge property. So max edge is in milliseconds. Okay, max edge is in milliseconds. So what will be the maximum age of the refresh token? That is 30 days because by default the refresh token expires in 30 days. So we will be persisting the session will be persisted using refresh tokens. Okay, so yeah, so that is another usage, that is persistence of user session, of persistence of user session. Now here the max age, what will be the maximum age? 30 days, 24 hours. 30 days multiplied by 24 hours. Each hour has 60 minutes, each minute has 60 seconds, and each second has 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so 1 second equals to 1000 milliseconds because you can see that uh, the cookie, if we see the options, okay, so max edge will be, let me type here again to show you, max edge should be in milliseconds. Okay, so I will type the thing again. Let me show you. Restart cookie, you can see max edge should be in milliseconds only. So I'm converting that to milliseconds by multiplying 1000 to this. Okay. Then secure. Okay. One is secure property. Wait a second. Yeah. So, what does secure means? Secure means your cookies are transmitted over a website which has by default HTTPS protocol. Okay, without HTTPS protocol, it will not work. The secure thing will not work. So, what I will do is simple thing I will do is I think inside the constants I had this. Okay, node env. Fine. So I will use the node env, node underscore env variable. Okay, node env variable, which shouldn't be which should be equal to production. Okay, which should be equals to production. If it's not, then secure will be false, because in production we mainly use this thing. Okay, so in production we use HTTPS protocol. Okay, and then I will set HTTP only to true. What is HTTP only cookie? If you see for normal cookies can be easily seen through normal JavaScript methods. Like if you write document.cookie, let me go to a website. Let us go to YouTube. I will control inspect. Okay, so it's not allowed actually. So I'll just document dot alert. I will write a document dot cookie. Okay. So you can see that I'm getting some of the cookies here, but these are not the only cookies that I should get. Okay. So if you'll see in the cookies part, okay, in the YouTube, you can see many of the cookies are HTTP only. Now you can see there are many of the cookies, and we got these cookies. Okay, we got some of the cookies. Fine. We only got some of the cookies, like these three cookies. These four cookies only we got. 4 to 5 cookies which are not HTTP only, we can get them. Okay. But if the cookie is HTTP only, you cannot get them through normal JavaScript method like you did. Okay, so it's HTTP only. Fine. Now it's set. It's set. We are set with the login service. Let us head to Postman. Okay. Now let me tell you that for the verification part, let me tell you that we'll be allowing non-verified users to authenticate themselves. We'll be not restricting them, but we'll be not allowing unauthenticated users to update their profile. Will be not unauthenticated, unverified users will be not allowed there. So that's why I'm not restricting this verify email endpoint with any middleware. I'll be showing you how to create a middleware to check whether a user is authenticated or not. Fine. So here what I will do, I will create a new request. Okay. I will create a new request that is a post request to auth API base URL /login. Okay, /login. And let me check what was the email that I provided. This is the email. Okay, now let me show you the validations. But I will get identifier. Okay, so identifier is this. Fine, identifier is this, and then the password is I'll not send the password. Okay, I'll not send the password, and you can see password is required. Okay, password is required. Fine. Let me go ahead and copy the password from here. Okay, copy the password from here, paste it here, and send this. Okay, now, okay, password field is not selected. Oh, password field is not selected because we had a thing inside user model that is password should be not selected by default. Okay, select false. So what I should do is inside auth service, I should write here dot select. Okay, dot select. So I'm using plus password. Save this. Now I will not provide any, I will provide incorrect password. Okay, so invalid password. Now, right. So now here we will have the hashtag. Now you can see that here it's returning 404 not found. I don't know why. Let me check the auth service. Okay, so if I'm checking the auth service right here, You can see that even if the password is wrong, I am throwing 404, it should be 400 or bad request, you can say. Okay, so let me just again send it. Okay, 400 bad request. And now I will type the hashtag, send it, and node underscore env is not defined. So what's the issue here? I think it's in the model. Node env is not defined. Where is the issue coming? 500 internal server error. Node env is not defined. Let me see where's the issue. Auth service. Where it is coming from? I think it's from either login service or controller. Let me see. Okay, so I think I have to. Fine. So let me just resend this. Yeah. So right here you can see that I am getting the authentication token. Now if I'll copy this and go to a site that is jwt.io, fine. So here if you'll paste the authentication token, you will find the details. Okay. So username is this384, ID is this. Okay. And then also you can get the refresh token, which is this one, refresh underscore token. And I think I have copied the refresh token. No. So let me just copy the token from here. Okay, and I will paste it here. So you can see that only I'm getting the ID from the token. Fine. So this was all about the login endpoint that we are working out. Actually, in between the system had crashed, so I had to just restart my computer. Right. So let me just end this module here by just pushing the code to GitHub. Okay, so module 10, module 11, okay, login API implemented. Okay, so login API implemented and just commit it and push to origin. Now if I go to GitHub, you will get the code. Okay, so right here you will get the code inside the backend of repository. So right, this was the end of the module number 11. Now in the next module, we'll be learning how we can rotate the access and the refresh tokens. Okay, so let's meet in the next module.